crypto warriors, changing our world day by day. The way of the crypto warriors, can't rely on the bankers, no way.
Good morning, Bix Weir, roadrunner.com. With your morning horners, use your sip of chaga coffee. All right, let's see. Silver is still hovering below the moving averages. Don't expect much until it gets back above. Looks like they were looking for shake out some weak hands with a little spike. Remember, this is something that is 100% controlled and rigged. This is not a fight between the buyers and the sellers at all. The buyers and the sellers are the big banks. That's it. There's a tiny bit of retail COMEX action going on. The rest is the computer riggers and the banks and the governments buying and selling to each other. It's embarrassing, but here's where we are. We're right below these moving averages, the 50, the 200-day, and the 100-day moving averages. Yeah, it could stay there. Look at it stayed there from last time it played this game was last July, and it stayed there till February. And all this stuff is during this time, the banks and the criminal shorts were closing out their shorts. So they can prolong it. I'm going to do a timeline for the private road members on how far I think this is going to go. At any point, it could break, too. I mean, if you look at, let's see, what is it here? This move right here from March 16, 2020 to, August of 20, that's when we had the big run up to close to $30. And it can happen. Stuff like that can happen. And then they play their game again, try to get it below the moving averages. It's a game, it's a con, but at the end of the day, we're looking at 170 years of price suppression in silver. There is no asset that will perform better than silver when manipulation ends, and it will end. It will probably end with the destruction of one of these big banks that's heavily short silver. Basically, Bank of America is the most probable client. Let's take a look at Bank of America. Bank of America, this is the precious metals. It's basically silver. It's got some other precious metals, but basically silver. Platinum, palladium. Very little of this is platinum and palladium. But this is number 4. These are the top 4 banks in the U.S. JP Morgan's always got this huge position. They ended up leasing their silver to Bank of America. So they still have a silver OCC position, but it's a leased position as opposed to a derivative short position. So they passed it on to Bank of America. Every time someone gets the short position in silver, they get destroyed. From Drexel Burnham to AIG to Bear Stearns to JP Morgan almost got destroyed. The doors at JP Morgan's almost shut when Trump nailed them with the RICO charges. Why did he do that? Because Jamie Dimon and friends were trying to destroy the potential for Trump's presidency, so they decided to pull out of the repo market. Yeah, they pulled out. And that's what caused that spike to 10%. That's why Trump came down with the DOJ and said, hey, you mess with me, I'm going to destroy you, which Trump does, and charge them with RICO charges. They could have ended up in jail and had to pay 3 times the amount that they stole. So if you look at something like JP Morgan rigging the silver market, that was at least 1 billion ounces of silver. They would have had to pay back 3 billion ounces of silver. So it shut them down. So the bad guys had to invent a new way to rig the market. So JP Morgan gave leased all its silver to Bank of America. And that's why this position popped up over the last 18 months. A $27 billion OCC derivative position from Bank of America. Now, did Bank of America know what they were doing, know what they were getting into? By the way, after talking with Jenny and using my intuition, this is a 3-party deal, by the way. It's not just Bank of America or JP Morgan giving a leased billion ounces of silver to Bank of America, and that they didn't leave it at that. There's another party involved, And we don't know the back end. Leases can be written any way they want. It could be, okay, we agree to lease you $1 billion of silver, and you agree to give us back, $1 billion in bonds. Shit like that. I mean, leases are very creatively structured. I was in leasing, I know. Back end especially. Just think of a car. You have all these purchase options when you finish your car lease. You can buy it, you can return it, you can roll it over into another lease, things like that. There's a lot of things that can happen at the end of the lease. But from Jenny's work and what I understand about this one, there's another party involved. Probably BlackRock is my guess. Could be the U.S. government. The only entity that has the legal authority to rig the silver market is the U.S. government. From the 1934 Gold Confiscation Act, you can call it what you want, they were given the power to control the price of everything. They have the legal authority to rig any market through the Exchange Stabilization Fund, and they do it. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it will be the U.S. government deciding when this game is over. But from the Roto-Rooter documents out of the Fed, that time is approaching. No, it does not do the U.S. any good to continue this game until forever, because we are losing our ass right now. China's kicking our ass. Russia's kicking our ass. Everybody's kicking our ass. Now is not the time to try to prolong the game and kick the can down the road. Now's the time to end the game. Who's the largest debtor in the entire world? The United States government. We own more debt than any other country in human history. Yeah, we can print money out of it. Well, we can't. The Federal Reserve can. And there's a difference between the Federal Reserve and the U.S. Treasury. There's a difference between what comes out of the U.S. Mint and what is created by the U.S. or by the Federal Reserve System. And that difference will very much come into play very soon. Very soon. The banks go down. If Bank of America folds, all these banks fold. All of them. JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Citibank. Look at the derivative banks and look how much they have. JP Morgan has $49 trillion in derivatives, only $3 trillion in assets. Goldman Sachs, 47. Goldman Sachs is the most insane one. $48 trillion in derivatives and only $434 billion in assets. I mean, how's that even legal? Citibank, $42 billion. Bank of America, trillion. These are trillions with a T. It gets confusing. Wells Fargo, $9 trillion. State Street Bank, $2 trillion. No bank will survive. Even your local mom, pa, local bank. They will be destroyed. Why? Because they play a fractional reserve game too. Once people start running to JP Morgan, Citibank, Bank of America and say, I want my money back. You hold my money. It's not your money, it's my money. That's what at least the depositors think, and it's not true. Once they get it in their hands, they're going to take it and you'll never get it back. Because once people start to run on the bank, it doesn't stop there. They go to their local branches and say, oh my God, JP Morgan just took my $100,000. I need to get my $50,000 out of your bank. And they say, sorry, we don't have it. We can't do it. And they shut their doors too. All of them shut their doors. And then what happens? The fiat money, the Federal Reserve note. Federal Reserve note printed by the Fed as an IOU goes away. The U.S. Treasury will issue new U.S. dollars, actually old U.S. dollars, probably backed in gold because we have so much of it. All right, that's my take there. Listen to what Brian Moynihan says. Yeah, there's a division of economics called behavioral economics, meaning if you speak about things being great, they're going to be great. Larry Summers was taught this at Harvard. It's basically lying. If you continually perpetuate the lie, things are going to be fine. It's the panic that they don't want. So listen to Brian Moynihan talking about how great the economy is.
The Fed knows they got a job to do to tackle inflation, and the question is what happens on the other side of that. Yeah. And that's one of the tricky executions. And again, the debate is a recession on the other side? Our people don't think so. They have this year's growth at 3% plus, next year's growth just under 2%, which would be under the long-term trend. They don't see the recession, but that doesn't mean it'll be perfectly, aligned.
Interesting, because I mean, he's saying that they don't see a recession, but in the tagline right above, Bank of America CEO Brian Moynihan revealed Wednesday during an exclusive interview with Mornings with Maria whether he believes a recession in the United States is expected this year as inflation accelerates. Okay, so he said no recession. I don't see how these people get away with this stuff. No recession, try a complete collapse, worse than a depression. But hey, we'll see what happens.
To inflation coming into check. And behind that, wage growth is strong, and labor shortages are strong. So there's a lot of dynamics going on, and then obviously businesses are still struggling getting things to sell, cars, and just struggling, and that means there's pent-up demand, which will lengthen the cycle. So we're fairly optimistic in that we believe growth in the next couple of years as a company, and everything we see supports that.
So do you think we'll see a recession this year or no?
I don't think so. Not this. I mean, it's got to be two quarters, and you're almost through two, and it hasn't happened yet. So the idea is it'll be out there, but this was.
Idea is it'll be out there. It just hasn't happened yet. Oh my God, this guy is literally the poster child for behavioral economics. They say everything's rosy. So you don't get your products. So what? You can't book the sale either. I ordered a truck from Ford, the largest truck manufacturer in the world, back in, I think it was September of last year. It was supposed to be delivered in December. I still don't. They're still saying it's months out. Months to get a Ford truck. It's insane. So, yeah. Keep up the good work, Brian Moynihan. This guy will be brought in front of Congress very soon. Very soon. I think this year he'll be having to testify why his bank got destroyed. Poor leadership. $28 billion silver short position. Insane. Crypto's getting monkey hammered again. Again, these guys are on the same computer programs that the stock exchange is on, the bond exchange is on, the commodity exchange, all computers and derivatives, 100% controlled. Interesting article here. Target the price of Bitcoin. Internal documents show how the EU could crack down on Bitcoin and protect Ethereum. Bitcoin, by far the largest and most widely known cryptocurrency, has come under pressure from environmentalists, activists, and regulators in recent months due to high energy use. The reality in cryptos is that the war hasn't even started. People say, oh, the governments are against it. All the governments have to do is ban it. Ban it. It won't kill cryptos. You'll still have the exact same. The problem is the governments are going away. Cryptos are great when the governments go away, but until then, they can do all kinds of damage to cryptos. Of course, any country that damages cryptos is shooting themselves in the foot. If the EU bans Bitcoin, they will be destroyed in the economic system of the future. They might actually be trying to do that. When they allowed all those immigrants in from Africa, to me, it was clear that they wanted to destroy the entire EU. And it might be because of climate change as in not the liberal side, but hey, what if all of Europe is frozen with the coming ice age? They want to move to Africa. These people are bastards. They're going to invite all these poor Africans into Europe and then bail on Europe and move to Paraguay or wherever they're going to move to. Was it Argentina that Hitler moved to? So, yeah, they can. Now, then it gets to, if the argument is Bitcoin is too costly to the environment, obviously proof of stake, and even better proofs of stake coins like shall we say Theta is so much better than Ethereum. Proof of stake it can be manipulated, it can be destroyed if you get collusion between the small hand of people who are controlling it. Yeah, there's a problem there. That's why Theta invented the validator and guardian nodes. Proof of stake would be just the validator nodes, a handful. They're going to move it up to 100 for, like, there's 25 or so now, but they'll move it up to 100. But you got your guardian nodes as well. So the validators can't take control. You've got someone to watch over them. And that's a beautiful thing. Yes, I do believe one of the reasons Theta was invented is to replace Ethereum. Ethereum can't get their shit together. and Theta uses the same language. It's a click of a mouse to port over to the Theta blockchain if you're running your business on Ethereum. And I think that's what will happen, especially as they add more validator nodes and the whole world figures out, oh my God, Theta it's a software technology that can save the problem of broadband by downloading the edge node on every single Samsung and Sony device out there, and Apple. Wait till Apple signs on with Theta. They're coming. Same with Netflix. They're coming. So yeah, and proof of stake with Theta, you don't have an energy problem. You don't have a speed problem. You don't have a cost problem. Yeah. I'll sing this tune until the monkeys come home, and when the monkeys come home, Theta will be in the thousands of dollars because it is the best crypto blockchain out there by far, in my opinion. Anyway, yes, the European thing is falling into disarray today. Putin said, you either pay in rubles or you don't get your gas. And then everybody's folding in Europe. We knew they would. They're not going to go without gas to heat their homes, to run their businesses. It's just not going to happen. And this is the stupidity of globalization. You need to, every country should be self-sufficient because you don't know who your enemy is going to be tomorrow. The U.S. especially. We're not going to get products from China anymore. That's done. It's over with. They're shutting down. Look at this. Shut down of Foxconn factories in China threatens Apple's supply chain. Of course. You make all your products in a different country and you start fighting with the country, it's over. China can say all they want, this is COVID. We know it's not COVID. This is the war to destroy the banking cabal. Chronic shortages of a few items will now evolve into a chronic shortage of hundreds of products later. I have talked about this many times. So many different, with globalization, you get little pieces and parts from everywhere. When that ends, you can't make a Ford F-150. My car can't get made because there's one chip missing, is what they're telling me. But how many pieces and parts go into a Ford F-150 that they get from all over the world? It was just stupid. For globalization has always been a disaster waiting to happen. Now that disaster is happening. So many items will not be made. Even China has to import a lot of, if that's the place of assembly of certain things, like computers, they got to get shit from all over the place, and they're not getting it. The end of globalization is going to be really hard on humanity. If you have anything you're lacking right now, you better get it. I am in the process of making my garden. And it's much more involved than I thought. I got 12 planter boxes I'm putting in. Yes, I am overdoing it. Hopefully I'll stage it over time so that, I have made the mistake in the past when I had my little tiny greenhouse to plant everything at the same time, put it on a sprinkler system or drip system, and then just let it go. And then we have like 2-3 weeks of massive vegetables and then nothing. So I'm staggering this time, but you gotta get your access to food. It's so important, and vegetables mainly. If you have a farm, you can get chickens and goats and all that stuff. But for most people, and if you're in an apartment and you don't have anywhere, no light anywhere, look at sprouts. Sprouts have amazing nutrition. Load up on the sprout seeds. They're easy to grow / sprout. You just stick them in water, and in a couple days you got great sprouts. They're extremely healthy. And health is important now. Anyway, that's what I got for you. I will be talking to Jenny Moonstone tomorrow. I want to go over more Bank of America stuff. We got a ton of stuff on the private road. Go to roadtoroota.com. Click on the private road, and you will... Jenny's stuff is right in the beginning. We have all kinds of information there. But we talk about things there that you can't talk about on YouTube. So you can just read the title there. I'll leave it to that. I don't know if the algorithms can read it. But hey, it is what it is. So to join the private road, go to roadtoroota.com. Hit subscribe today right at the top there. And a 1-year subscription is $2.99. Gives you access to everything on the Road to Roota. Thousands of articles and videos and all kinds of stuff. And we will send you a silver Road to Ruta coin. These coins are not sold anywhere, but we give them away with every subscription or renewal. It is a Ruta Lives coin. It is the coolest coin ever made with a red heart, individually painted. And they will start shipping next week. Next week they start shipping. They're all individually numbered. Really cool coin. And we're getting these, they should be in this week. Cases are back. They'll be in blue cases with a certificate of authentication, with each one being numbered. Really cool stuff. Again, you can get one by renewing your subscription or subscribing to the private road. Just go to roadtoruta.com, hit subscribe today, and get your coin. This is Bix Weir, roadtoruta.com. I will talk to you.
Hang on tight, my friends. Theta Girl's on her way. That would fly to the sky, dump everything on her, let her take me so high. Well, she said her name was Theta, wanna go for a ride. Rock band expansion, always there by my side. She's my Theta girl, she really rocks my world. Go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. I said go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. Well, the 40X movie 2020 was fun. You ain't seen how high my little Theta can run. Coinbase will add 300 million or more. America will love her while they watch her price soar. She's my Theta girl, she really rocks my world. Go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. I said go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. Go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. Go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. You're my Theta girl, you really rock my world. Go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. Well, my wife got really jealous, I love Theta too much. She said, I know it sounds crazy, I'm missing your touch. You're gonna have to choose, it's either me or your coin. I'm sad to see her go, but look where Theta is gone. She's my Theta girl, she really rocks my world. Go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. I said go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. Go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. Go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. You're my Theta girl, you really rock my world. Go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. Well, I believe Sarasi $1,000 or more. Everybody watching Theta partner galore. Samsung and Sony, Apple, Netflix and more. Google and then YouTube, well, you watch it price soar. It's my Theta girl, she really rocks my world. Go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. Go